start with the final set for your CSET paper solution. So here the first question talks about that there has been no democracy that has grown economically without corporate capitalism. So it actually emphasizes that there is a lot of unemployment, and only if big company comes in, they would create competitive markets domestically and externally, and this would lead to additional revenues. So the critical message that is being conveyed is that corporate capitalism is most important for economic growth and also for democracy. So A becomes the right option. The next question based on the same says that corporate capitalism promotes the growth of labor forces and provides more employment opportunity. That is correct. Poor and marginalized sections are benefited by corporate capitalism due to trickle down. That is not valid because it talks about the state-led finance programs or welfare programs that actually are funded by the tax revenues from the corporate capitalism, and this is very different from the automatic trickle down effect, right? So only one would be the correct option. The next is a single sentence that has been given, that a network of voluntary associations stand as buffer between the relatively powerless individuals and potentially powerful states. Now this is explained through the fact that it takes individual out of the state of isolation and gives them the chance to participate in a common endeavor, because it explains how voluntary associations actually create a buffer state. An isolated individual is powerless against a powerful state. So C would be the right option. The next is an interesting question. There exists a natural number which when increased by 50% gives the same factors. So let's say we take two numbers 12 and 18. So 12 has factors 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 and 12. 18 has factors 1, 2, 3, 6, 9 and 18. So both the factors remain unchanged. So we have one example here. So this is correct. There exists a natural number which when increased by 150 has the factors unchanged. So let's take numbers as 60 and 150% increase, so 150. Again, if I find out the factors, the number of factors in both of them would remain the same. So both of them have 12 factors in each. So this becomes again correct option. The next is a very interesting problem. I'll solve it step by step. So A is 6 kilometers south of B. So A is 6 kilometers south of B. Okay. Then A is 10 kilometers west of C. So C is here. 10 kilometers west of C. Then D is 5 kilometers east of E, but C is 6 kilometers north of D. So D is 6 kilometers north of E. C is 6 kilometers north of D, and D is 5 kilometers east of E. So this is 5 kilometers. Now F is 9 kilometers to the west of B. So F is 9 kilometers to the west of B, and F is 12 kilometers to the north of G. Now what is the route from D to F? So from D to F, the route would be D, C, A, B and F. We cannot find out the hypotenuse, that's not given in the question. So I calculate this total distance, 6 plus 10 plus 6 plus 9, that gives me 31 kilometers. So it's the answer here. The next question is 64 is written as 343. So 64 is what? 4 cube. 343 is 7 cube. This is 6 cube. This is 9 cube. So I am taking the difference of 3. Now this is 8 cube. So the next would be 11 cube. So 11 cube is 1331. So that becomes the correct answer B. Now the next one is an interesting problem. Now this is a remainder problem. Now when I take 9 cube plus 9 raised to power 4, right? So what I am doing is 9 cube I take common, 1 plus 9. So when it is odd, even number, right? I have 10. But as soon as I take again another 9, another 81 to it, it becomes odd, right? So when the digit is even here, understand it, this would be even, okay? When it is, the power is even, this would be even. When the power is odd, it would be odd. So here the power is even, so it would be even, as simple as that. And whenever it is even, the factors would be 6. Okay, so the factors would be 2 and 3 and the multiples of 6. That means this would be divisible by 6. Now since it would be divisible by 6, the remainder would always be 0. So 0 would be the right option in this case. The next is I have to find out what is the smallest one digit number that has exactly 4 distinct factors. So I take 6, I take 8, right? Now 6 has 1, 2, 3 and 6 as the factors, and 8 has 1, 2, 4 and 8 as the factors. Now 2 is one of the factors and 3 is one of the factors. I need not need any of the statements to answer it. Independently I can solve this question. So the question can be answered even without any of the statements would be the correct option. Now here it's an interesting question. P, Q, R, S are all non-distinct zero numbers. P can be 1, 2 and 3, right? Okay, and Q can be 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now when I calculate, I come to a solution that P would be 3 and Q would be 4, right? So when P is 3 and Q is 4, then I have 33 into 34, that gives me 1122. So even if I don't know the value of S and R, I can actually determine this, and this would be a case where I would require none of the statements to answer this question. So again, this would be the correct answer. The next question is interesting. P has two sisters. So P, R and S are siblings. R's father is the brother of Q. So R's father is the brother of Q. So basically Q is the uncle of all three. Now only when I know both these relations, I can say Q is related to P, and by what. So question needs to be answered by using both the statements and cannot be answered even with a single statement. So both the statements are necessary to answer this question. The next question is a question on passage. Now here the main crux of the passage is the price rise differs for different items of consumption. So you have WPI, you have CPI. Now here what is important is this first statement does not make sense. The third and the fourth statement does not make sense. So the only statement that is the closest correct statement would be that the present calculation for the inflation rate does not correctly measure the price rise for individual items and commodities. So B is the correct option. The next is trust. So this whole passage is about trust. So trust is actually important, though it entails risk, is the basic crux. So simply read this passage and you would understand that it says how important is the trust, right? Now this is an interesting question. P plays against Q was behind by 3 goals within 10 minutes. So let's consider P and Q. Initially consider if P is 4, Q is 1, right? So now if the team Q scores 4 goals and P scores 4 in the last 10, P would win. So to win P, this statement would go correct. But I take another case. Initially I consider that Q is 3 and P is 0. Now let's assume that Q now has scored total 4 goals. So Q in the last match would score 1 more goal and P has scored 4 goals. So this and this both have got 4 goals. So this match would turn into a draw. Okay, so that means the question cannot be answered even with using both the statements. So D would be the correct answer here. Now this question where I say P plus Q square minus 4QP. Okay, so simply I expanded. So P square plus Q square plus 2PQ minus 4PQ. So P square plus Q square minus 2PQ. So that is P minus Q the whole square. Now that simply says P has to be greater than Q. I do not need either of the statements to actually understand it because it's a square, so it would ultimately turn into a positive value. So even without any of these two statements, I can give the answer for the solution. The next question, it's a T20 cricket match. Now here the scores, let's say X, Y and Z. Okay, the values are 16, 12 and 9. Okay, so if I take the ratio, if I say X by Y and Y by Z, okay, so that is 16 by 12 and 12 by 9. And in the other case, I take 12 by 16 and 9 by 12. So it cannot be determined because of the insufficient data, because I cannot say you would have a contradiction between A and B in this question, and therefore this would be a question where I would say that it cannot be determined because the data is insufficient. The next question is the maximum value of P into Q. Okay, so I would keep P plus Q, I need to have 10. Okay, so P into Q, maximum values I take 5, 5 for both. So I get 25 here. Okay, now in the second case I take P as 6 and Q as positive 4. Okay, so P as 6 and Q as 4, because the total should be 10, so this turns out to be 24. So in this case P value 1 would be greater than value 2. So B would be the right option here. The next is the minimum value of the average of the numbers, number of set when they are consecutive is greater than or equal to minus 5, right? So I take from minus 5 to 5 all the numbers, I average that, so my mean value comes 0. Okay, now it says the mean value of the product of the non-negative integers. So the non-negative 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So I am multiplying with 0. So this is again 0. So value of 1 and value of 2 would be equal. So both the values would be 0 here. So C would be the correct answer. Now, coming on to another question. P plus Q plus R by 3 is equal to K, because we are finding the average. Now P is much more than the average as Q is less than the average. So P, I say it's K plus X. Okay, and Q I say is K minus X. I put the values here and then I find for R. So R would turn out to be K. So K would be the right answer here. The next question is an interesting question. I take X as 0.5. So my X square would be 0.25. My X cube would be further smaller than that. So X square is greater than X cube. So it would be 0.625. Now here, my root of X would be 0.7. So X would be greater than 0.7 would be incorrect statement. So only one would be the correct statement. So whenever there is a square is greater than cube, but the number is less than the root of the number. Clear? The next question is the difference of any two natural numbers is 10. Okay. Now understand, let's say I take 20 and 30 as the number. The difference is 10. So the intermediate number which is divisible by 5 is 25. Now I take the numbers 21 and 31. So the intermediate numbers are 2, 25 and 30. So there is only one such number I cannot say. There are only two such numbers I cannot say. But the number has to be more than one such number. So in this case it is 25. In this case it is 25 and 35. So this is just an example. So however, it would be more than one such number. So I hope this is clear, and with this we finish the paper for CSET paper 2 as well. Wish you all the best. In case you have any questions or concerns, feel free to post those in the comment, and of course our mains lectures for answer analysis would be available. The PYQs are solved on Doorstep Tutor, so don't miss. Wish you good luck. Thanks for joining in.